by spectral index monitoring, or BIS monitoring. So this gives us a continuous numerical value on electrical activity of the brain. So the higher the number, the more aware the patient is and the more brain activity they have. The lower the number, the less brain activity and the less aware the patient is. We titrate our sedatives to achieve a BIS goal between 45 and 60. So if they're greater than 60, they're too awake and too aware. And if they're less than 45, they might be under a level of anesthesia that is too deep than what is needed. So let's talk about lead placement. Both of these leads that we see on this patient's forehead are placed incorrectly. The leads should be placed at the center of the forehead, approximately 2 inches above the bridge of the nose, and the arrow should be pointing directly down the nose between the middle of the eyes. So it should go at a downward angle, and the arrow should point directly down. So the first probe or the first pad is labeled 1, the one with the arrows. The next one is 2. The third one is actually 4, and the one that is on the temple is number 3. So the last sensor, which is number 3, is placed in line with the outer canthus of the eye. You see here on the packaging, we have the arrow pointing directly down between the nose toward the top of the forehead. Then we have it going in a downward angle. We have number 4, which is actually the third one, directly over the eyebrow. And then we have the last probe on the temple, which is in line with the outer canthus of the eye. Let's talk about the BIS interface. So we have the BIS value. This is continuously displayed for us as long as the signal quality is sufficient. You want that number between 45 and 60. The signal quality indicator is a measure of signal quality based on artifact and the degree to which the signal is impeded. So the signal is best when all 5 bars are green. Next is the EMG indicator, or electromyograph indicator. So this displays power in decibels from muscle activity and other artifacts interfering with the BIS's ability to read brain activity. So think of it as just muscle activity that's interfering with the signal. So when the indicator is low, the EMG activity is low and the BIS monitoring conditions are optimal. So you want this bar to be empty, whereas you want the signal quality indicator that's telling you this is a quality signal to be full. Then we have the EEG waveform. This is the current BIS waveform snapshot, the BIS trend data. So this plots values over time. You can set a target range. So our target range that we might set would be 45 to 60. And if you set that range, a message would just display in the message region. And you can set it to give you a message, or you can set it to alarm if the BIS value falls outside of that set range. So you would click on menu on the left side of the touch screen, and then you could go through and set those parameters and set whether you want a message to display or whether you want it to be an audible alarm. So let's show you the BIS monitor in action. Here we have the BIS monitor. The back or the right side has a plug for it to plug into the wall. And in the front, we have the cord that would plug to the probe and go to the patient. This is a clip, so you can use this to clip to a bed rail, the headrest. If you're on a rotoprone bed, there are metal bars that secure all of the IV tubing that goes through the headpiece. And so you'd clip this because it's a little heavy and might pull at the BIS sensor. And then the BIS sensor plugs into this here, which I'll show you. So let's go ahead and fire this on. I'll show you this BIS sensor. We see correct placement on the front at the top of the forehead, 2 inches from the bridge of the nose in the center with the arrow pointing directly down. And we see number 3 here right at the, in line with the outer canthus of the eye. And then this is going in a downward diagonal angle. So let's pull it out of the packaging and we'll place it on. So I'm going to place one here toward the top of my shiny forehead, pointing directly down. And then we have 2. And then we have 4, which you can see the curved pad, which will go directly over the outer portion of the eyebrow above it. And then you have number 3, that the circle, the blue circle, will go in line with the outer canthus of the eye. Now we're ready to plug it in. Before you put this on, you might want to wipe down their forehead with alcohol and make sure it's dry. Sometimes you can use skin prep if their face is super greasy or they're really diaphoretic. And then another thing is this can weigh down, especially when you're proning them. So you might want to tape it to the patient's forehead if you need to. It's really unfortunate when you have them all packed up in the bed and then get them flipped over, and now you don't have a signal because this has pulled this loose. So maybe tape it if it applies to your patient. So we'll see this fire on. We'll see that I have a lot of interfering muscle activity, and we don't have a great signal because I'm really moving around a lot, probably creating a lot of artifact. We see my BIS waveform in time. This will start to plot my BIS waveform over time. And then we see our number 98. We're gonna wanna titrate this and keep it between 45 and 60. And that's it.